Hello and welcome to today's episode. In today's episode, we will discuss about the economic growth and development. Factors affecting economic growth, impact of circular flow of money on business, large scale and small scale business. I am Dr. Arshia Hussain, teaching in the Department of Commerce and Business Studies, Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi. So let us start with the concept of economic growth. Economic growth can be defined as an increase or change in the level of goods and services produced by an economy over a certain period of time. Economic growth is never uniform or same in all sectors of an economy. For example, in a particular year, the telecommunication sector of a country has marked a significant contribution in economic growth, whereas the mining sector has not performed well as far as the economic growth of the country is concerned. Economic growth is directly related to percentage increase in GNP of a country, that is gross national product. In other words, economic growth is related to increase in per capita national output or net national product, that is NNP of a country, that remain constant for many years. It can be measured by comparing the level of gross national product, that is GNP of a year with the GNP of the previous year. The economic growth of a country requires a proper analysis of strengths and weaknesses of the economy. Economic analysis provides an insight into the fundamentals of an economy. It is a systematic process for determining the optimum use of scarce resources and selecting the best alternative to achieve the economic goals. Economic analysis also helps in assessing the causes of different economic problems such as inflation, depression and economic instability. Now we will see features of economic growth. Economic growth consists of the following features. The first one is economic growth indicates a process of increase in national income and per capita income. The increase in per capita income is the better measure of economic growth since it reflects increase in the improvement of living standards of people. Second one is economic growth is measured by increase in real national income. It means that the increase should be in terms of increase of output of goods and services and not due to a mere increase in the market prices of existing goods. The third one is increase in real income should be over a long period of time. The increase of real national income and per capita income should be sustained over a long period of time. The short run or temporary increases in income is not the economic growth. Fourth one is increase in income must be the result of increased productivity. Increase in income can be sustained only when The increase is the result of some increase in productive capacity of the economy, such as modernization or use of new technology in production, improved infrastructure like transport network, improved electricity generation, etc. Now, we will see factors affecting economic growth. The important factors that affect the economic growth of a country are: first one, human resource. It is one of the most important factors affecting the economic growth of a country. The quality and quantity of available human resource can directly affect the growth of an economy. The quality of human resource refers to their skills, creative abilities, training and education. The quality of output will likely to be high if the human resource of any country is well skilled and trained. On the other hand, a shortage of skilled labor affects the growth of an economy. Therefore, the human resources of a country should be adequate in number with required skills and abilities so that economic growth can be achieved. A good quality of population is very important in determining the level of economic growth. So, the investment in human capital in the form of educational and medical and such other social schemes is very much desirable. Human resource development increases the knowledge, the skills and the capabilities of people that increase their productivity. Second one is natural resources. The principal factor affecting the development of an economy is the natural resources. The natural resources include the land, area and the quality of the soil, forest wealth, good river system, minerals and oil resources, good climate, etc. For economic growth, the existence of natural resources in abundance is essential. A country deficient in natural resources may not be in a position to develop rapidly. In less developed countries, natural resources are either underutilized or misutilized. On the other hand, countries such as United States, United Kingdom, Germany and France have a small geographical area and few natural resources, but has high growth rate due to its efficient human resource and advanced technology. Next is capital formation. Capital formation is another important factor for development of an economy. Capital formation is the process by which a community's savings are channelized into investments in capital goods such as plant, equipment and machinery that increases nation's productive capacity and workers' efficiency, thus ensuring a larger flow of good. Capital formation refers to the net increase in the stock of real capital in a country. In other words, capital formation means production of more capital goods such as machines, tools, factories, transport equipment, materials, electricity, etc., which are all used for future production of goods. Capital formation increases the availability of capital per worker, resulting in an increase in capital-labor ratio. Consequently, the productivity of labor increases, leading to an increase in output and growth of the economy. The fourth one is technological development. The other important factor affecting the economic growth of a country is its technological development. Technology means the application of scientific methods and production techniques. In other words, technology can be defined as nature and type of technical instruments used by a labor force. Technological development helps in increasing productivity with a limited amount of resources. Countries that have worked in the field of technological development grow rapidly as compared to countries that have less focus on technological development. The selection of right technology also plays an important role for the growth of an economy. On the contrary, an inappropriate technology results in high cost of production. Next is social and political factors. Social and political factors play a crucial role in economic growth of a country. Social factors involve customs, traditions, values and beliefs which contribute to the growth of an economy to a considerable extent. For example, a society with conventional beliefs and superstitions resists the adoption of modern ways of living. In such a case, achieving becomes difficult. Apart from this, political factors also affects economic growth. The stable, strong and efficient government, transparent policies and the efficient implementation of various policies have a major part in economic growth. Next is education. Education has been widely recognized that it is a prerequisite for economic growth and development. Greater progress has been achieved in those countries where education is widespread. Education plays an important role in human resource development. It improves human resource efficiency and helps in removing mental block to new ideas and knowledge and thereby contributing to economic development. Now, we will see some differences between economic growth and economic development. Economic growth is the increase in the amount of goods and services produced by an economy during a given period of time. Examples of economic growth are increase in national income, per capita income, etc. Economic development, on the other hand, is an improvement in the quality of life and standard of living of the people of that country. Examples of economic development are measures of literacy, life expectancy and healthcare. Now, let us see some more differences between economic growth and economic development. The first difference is economic growth refers to an increase in the real output of goods and services in the country, whereas economic development implies changes in income, savings and investment along with progressive changes in socio-economic structure of a country, that is institutional and technological changes. The second one is growth relates to a gradual increase in one of the components of gross domestic product: consumption, government spending, investment, net exports. On the other hand, economic development relates to growth of human capital, decrease in inequality figures and structural changes that improve the quality of life of the population. The third difference is economic growth brings quantitative changes in the economy. It is measured by quantitative factors such as increase in real GDP or per capita income, whereas economic development leads to qualitative as well as quantitative changes in the economy. The qualitative measures such as HDI, that is Human Development Index, Gender Related Index, Human Poverty Index, that is HPI, infant mortality, literacy rate, etc. are used to measure economic development. Next is economic growth reflects the growth of national or per capita income. Economic development, on the other hand, reflects progress in the quality of life in India. Now, we will discuss the impact of circular flow of money on business. Circular flow of income refers to the circular movement of money between firms or producers and households. The circular flow of economic activity indicates the basic economic relationships within a market economy. It shows where money goes and what it is exchanged for. It includes households, businesses and governments. In the circular flow of the economy, money is used to purchase goods and services. Goods and services flow through the economy in one direction, while money flows in the opposite direction. when the movement of money takes place between two sectors, that is firms and households, is called a two-sector economy. When the income flows between five sectors of the economy, that is household, firm, government, financial and foreign sector, then it represents a complete circular flow of money or income. The government plays an important role in a three-sector economy. The government consumes a major portion of the money flow in the form of taxes. The flow of money follows from the firms and households to the government in the form of taxes. Next is the government utilizes taxes to develop the infrastructure and many other services like healthcare, education, etc. So, to the firms, the government pays back in terms of incentives and by purchasing their goods. The government pays to the households in terms of interest rates on government securities, pay revisions, government jobs, etc. Thus, together, it all completes the circular movement of money. If the government's income from the taxes is less than its expenditure, it is said to have a deficit budget. As such, the role of government cannot be ignored in any economy because of such a huge control it possesses over the economic cycle. Governmental interference affects the overall economic performance of a country. A three-sector economy does not consider the role of foreign markets, which has become even more prevalent in the current globalized world. Circular flow of money in a four-sector economy. When the income flows between four sectors of the economy, that is household sector, firms, government, foreign sector, then it is known as a four-sector economy. The main features of the four-sector economy are: first one, the introduction of the foreign sector widened the scope of money income. The money flows to households or firms when they buy goods and services from a foreign country, also known as imports. Second one is the money flows back to household sector when foreign countries gives them employment. Money flows back to firms when foreign countries purchase their goods and services, which are known as exports. The third one is if the value of imports is equal to the value of exports, it is called balanced trade. If imports are greater than exports, it results into a trade deficit. If exports are greater than imports, then it is also called a trade surplus. The circular flow of income describes the flows of money among the different sectors of an economy. This representation includes five main sectors: the households, firms, government, the financial sector and the rest of the world. Production is the result of consumption, investment, government purchase and net exports. Symbolically, production is equal to consumption plus investment plus government purchases plus net exports. Now, we will see what is consumption. Consumption refers to the total expenditures by the households on final goods and services. Investment refers to the purchase of goods and services that in one way or another help to produce more output in the future. Government purchases are all the purchases of goods and services by the government. Net exports are the difference between exports and imports. They measures the total expenditure flows associated with the rest of the world. Households receive income from firms. They also receive money from the government in the form of transfers and must pay money to the government in the form of taxes. Households spend some of their disposable income and save the rest. In other words, income plus transfers minus taxes is equal to consumption plus private savings. Households take their savings to financial markets to purchase interest bearing assets. Some individual households are net borrowers, but overall, the household sector saves. The government purchases goods and services, collects revenues through personal and corporate taxes and other fees, and gives transfers to households. The amount that the government collects in the form of taxes does not need to equal the amount that it pays out for government purchases and transfers. If the government spends more than it gathers in taxes, then it must borrow from the financial markets to make up the shortfall. Government purchases is equal to tax revenues minus transfers plus government borrowings. Government borrowing is commonly referred to as the budget deficit. It is also possible that the government takes in more than it spends, in which case the government is saving rather than borrowing. So, there is a budget surplus rather than a deficit. The financial sector of an economy is at the heart of the circular flow. It summarizes the behavior of banks and other financial institutions. Most importantly, this sector of the circular flow shows us that the savings of households provide the source of investment funds for firms. On the left hand side, the figure shows a flow of dollars from the household sector into financial markets, representing the saving of the households firms. Also save by means of profits that they retain to finance new investment rather than distribute to their shareholders. As far as the national accounts are concerned, it is as if firms sent these funds to the financial market and then borrowed them back again. When we borrow from the other countries, there is a second flow of dollars into the financial markets. On the right hand side, there is a flow of money from the financial sector into the firm sector, representing the funds that are available to firms for investment purposes. The linkage between the saving of households and the investment of firms is one of the most important ideas in macroeconomics. The financial sector is also linked to the government sector and the foreign sector. These flows can go in either direction. If the government runs a deficit, it does so by borrowing from the financial markets. There is a flow from the financial sector to the government sector. If the government were to run a surplus, the flow would go in the other direction. The government would provide an additional source of saving. The foreign sector can provide an additional source of funds for investment. If those in other countries decide they want to use some of their savings to purchase assets in our economy. In this case, there is a flow from the foreign sector into the financial sector. Also, if we lend to other countries, then the flow goes in the other direction. The flows in and out of the financial sector must balance. So, investment plus government borrowings is equal to private savings plus borrowings from other countries. The foreign sector is perhaps the hardest part of this circular flow to understand, because we have to know how international transactions are carried out. Some of the goods produced in an economy are not consumed by domestic households or firms in an economy, but are instead exported to other countries. So, whenever one country sells something to another country, it acquires an asset from that country in exchange. Now, it is important to know that exports are equivalent to a loan to the rest of the world. Imports are equivalent to borrowings from the rest of the world. If we import more than we export, then we are borrowing from the rest of the world. That is, borrowings from abroad is equal to imports minus exports. If we export more than we import, it means we are lending to the rest of the world. And there is a flow of income from the financial markets to the rest of the world. So, that is all for today. Hope you have understood the concept of economic growth and economic development. So, we will see you in the other episode. Till then, take care. Goodbye.